The cafeteria hummed with noise, but Lily Carter sat alone. Her tray untouched, her eyes fixed on the steam curling from her soup. She kept her head low, hoping to vanish, but the whispers clung to her like shadow. She's just a joke, they said again and again about her brother Jake, who had flunked out of the United Earth Training Center last year after trying to build a fusion drive from scrap metal. Everyone called him a dreamer, a fool, a waste of oxygen. Lily carried that shame like a second skin. Even though she had earned her place through long nights studying propulsion theory and fixing broken simulators for extra credits. Across the room, a group of cadets pointed and laughed, one voice rising above the rest. Jake's sister thinks. She belongs here, can you believe it? Lily's fingers tightened around her spoon, but she stayed quiet, she always did. Then the doors hissed open. Silence crashed over the room like a wave. Every head turned. She stood there tall and regal, her skin shimmering, faintly like polished stone. Her eyes glowed soft violet beneath a crown of silver braids that moved as if alive. The alien woman wore the insignia of the Kalari High Command, a species known across the galaxy for their sharp minds, their elegance, and their merciless standards. Commander Vera of the Kalari fleet had arrived. Rumors had swirled for weeks that Earth's top cadets would be observed by an alien delegation as part of the Interspecies Alliance trials. Only the best would be chosen. For joint missions aboard off-world vessels, most cadets had spent months polishing uniforms, practicing alien greetings, and memorizing diplomatic codes. Lily had spent those months hiding. Commander Vera moved through the cafeteria like a quiet storm, her gaze sweeping over the cadets with cool distance until it landed on Lily. For one heartbeat, their eyes met. Lily looked away fast, her heart pounding. But then footsteps came closer. The whole room held its breath. Commander Vera stopped before Lily's table, tilted her head slightly, and held out a slender hand marked with faint glowing lines. "Will you walk with me?" Cadet Lily blinked up at her. "Stunned me's you." The snickers returned, but softer now, confused. "But I'm nobody," Lily whispered. "You are Lily Carter, sister of Jake Carter, the one who tried to rebuild a dying star in a garage on Mars." Lily's throat tightened. Jake's name, spoken by such a being, felt wrong. He failed. She said quietly, "He dared." She corrected, and daring is rarer than success. "Commander." Vera's lips curved into the faintest smirk, the kind that held whole worlds of secrets. "Take my hand." Lily hesitated, then placed her trembling fingers in the alien's cool palmas. They walked out of the cafeteria. The whispers exploded behind them, but Lily didn't care anymore. Outside the training center, the sky burned orange with the setting sun. Vera led her to a quiet garden where alien plants bloomed in slow spirals, humming with soft energy. "Why me?" Lily asked finally. "Because your brother saw the universe not as it is, but as it could be. And you carry that same fire, even if you've buried it under fear." Lily looked down at her boots, scuffed and worn. "I don't feel like I carry anything. You carry his silence now, his unfinished equations, his broken prototypes, his hope. You carry it all, and you think it makes you weak, but it makes you dangerous. Dangerous to those who believe the universe has limits." They sat on a stone bench beneath a tree whose leaves pulsed with gentle light. "The Kailari do not choose warriors based on perfect records," Vera said. "We choose those who have stared into failure and still reached for the stars. Your brother reached once. You reach every day, even when no one is watching." Lily's eyes stung. "I just wanted to prove I wasn't like him." "You are exactly like him, and that is why I am here." Vera turned to her fully, her violet eyes locking onto Lily's. "The interspecies trials begin tomorrow. Earth has offered its finest cadets, but I have come for one who was not offered at all. Mize. You will join my crew aboard the star vessel Orion. Not as a trainee, but as a junior astrophysicist. Your brother's notes on quantum resonance have already been studied by our scientists. They are flawed but brilliant, and only you understand his mind enough to finish what he started." Lily's breath caught. "I don't even know if I can." "You already have," she said. "You stayed in the program when everyone expected you to quit. You studied his work in secret. You kept his dream alive in the dark. That is not weakness, that is loyalty, and loyalty is the rarest form of courage." Tears spilled down Lily's cheeks, but she didn't wipe them away. "What about the others? They'll say it's unfair. Let them say it. The universe does not care about fairness, it cares about who shows up ready to burn for something bigger than themselves. Vera stood and offered her hand again. Will you come with me, Lily? Carter. Lily stood slowly, her legs shaky but her voice steady. Yes, the next morning the training center buzzed with confusion. The official list of trial participants had been posted and Lily Carter's name was at the top, marked with the Kalari seal. The same cadets who mocked her now stared in disbelief. How did she even get chosen? She's nobody. But Lily walked past them head high, her uniform crisp, her eyes bright. She carried no trophy, no medal, just the quiet certainty that she belonged. As she boarded the shuttle that would take her to the Orion, she saw Jake waiting. At the edge of the launch pad, his face worn but proud. You did it, kid, he said, voice rough. No, she said, we did it. They hugged her tight, then stepped back with a grin that reminded her of the boy who once tried to power a hoverbike with a potato battery. Go. Build us a new star. The shuttle lifted off and Lily watched Earth shrink below her until it was just a blue dot in the black. On the bridge of the Orion, Commander Vera stood waiting. Welcome aboard, junior astrophysicist Carter. Lily smiled for the first time in months. Thank you, ma'am. You will call me Vera when we are not in formal briefing. Yes, Vera, the alien woman, studied her for a long moment, then nodded. Your brother dreamed of touching the stars. You will teach them to listen. And as the ship leapt into warp space, Lily Carter finally understood that being the sister of a joke didn't make her a punchline. It made her the beginning of a new story, one written in stardust and stubborn hope. The Orion drifted through the quiet dark, its hull still humming with the echo of the reborn star. Lily stood on the main observation deck. Her hands resting on the warm alloy railing, she no longer felt like an imposter. She felt like a key turned. In a lock that had been rusted shut for centuries, back on Earth news of the Veiled Rim event had spread like wildfire. Official channels called it a diplomatic anomaly, but whispers in the Academy halls called it a miracle. Some said Lily Carter had tamed an ancient god, others said she had become one. Commander Vera entered without sound, her silver braids catching the soft glow of the ship's biolights. They are calling for you, she said. Who, Earth Command? They want you to return for debriefing. And honors. Lily frowned. Honors. They wish to present you with the Stellar Merit Award and offer you a permanent post at the Academy. And the Coriat stays with us. The Kailari Council has declared it a shared heritage artifact no human or alien may claim. It alone. Lily nodded. That felt right. When do we leave? We do not. You will go alone. Her stomach dropped. Alone. The Orion must return to Kailari space to share what we have learned. The resonance network we discovered could heal dying worlds. But it requires teachers, not soldiers. And you think I can teach? You already have. 2 days later, Lily stood on the shuttle pad of the United Earth Orbital Station, her Kailari uniform replaced with a standard issue Earth dress uniform. Stiff and unfamiliar, the metal around her neck felt heavy. Below her, through the viewport, Earth spun blue and green. She thought of Jake waiting in their old garage, surrounded by half-built dreams. The shuttle descended through clouds and landed at the Academy, where a crowd had gathered: cadets, officers, dignitaries, even reporters with hovering cameras. At the front stood Daniel, his face unreadable. And behind him, Jake. Lily stepped onto the tarmac, and the crowd erupted in cheers. But she walked straight to her brother. You look like you've seen a ghost, she said. I have, he whispered. You came back? Of course I did. They were ushered into the grand hall where General Ellis, a woman with sharp eyes and sharper posture, waited. Cadet Carter, your actions have rewritten our understanding of interspecies cooperation. You will be given full command rank and a new division. The Resonance Initiative. Lily blinked. A whole division? You will lead human efforts to study and apply the principles you demonstrated on the Veiled Rim. What about the Killari? They have agreed to joint oversight, but Earth must take the first step. That night in the Academy guest quarters, Lily could not sleep. She paced the room, her mind racing. This was what she had wanted once: to be seen, to be valued. But now, it felt hollow. The next morning, she visited the old engineering wing where Jake had once been banned for unauthorized experiments. The door was unlocked. Inside, his tools were gone, but his chalkboard still held fragments of equations, smudged but legible. She traced one with her finger. Hey. She turned to Daniel, stood in the doorway, hands in pockets. Can I come in? She nodded. He walked in slowly. I was wrong, he said. About you, about your brother. About what matters." She looked at the board. He saw something. None of us didn't. Hilali nodded. He saw music in the math. Daniel exhaled. "I spent my whole life trying to be perfect, but you were brave." She almost laughed. "I was terrified." "That's the point," he left quietly, and she stayed there until the sun set. The next day at the official ceremony, Lily stood before the crowd, medals gleaming, cameras flashing. General Ellis handed her the Stellar Merit Award for exceptional courage and innovation. The crowd applauded. Lily held the medal, then stepped to the podium. "Thank you," she said, "but I cannot accept this." Silence fell. "This is not my achievement alone. It belongs to my brother Jake Carter, who dared to listen. When everyone else shouted, it belongs to Commander Vera, who trusted a nobody from Mars. It belongs to the ancient light on that frozen world that chose to sing again." She placed the medal on the podium. "I do not want honors. I want a workshop." The general frowned. "A workshop? Yes, a place where dreamers are not punished but protected, where failure is not shame. But data, where we build not just ships but songs." The room stirred. General Ellis studied her, then nodded slowly. "You will have it." Within a month, the old engineering wing was reopened as the Resonance Lab cadets who once mocked Lily now signed up for her open sessions. She taught them to hum with circuits, to feel the pulse of engines, to treat machines not as tools, but as partners. Jake worked beside her every day, his hands steady, his eyes bright in afternoon. Daniel arrived with a small device in his hands. "I tried to build something," he said. "It's a resonance tuner based on your notes." Lily tested it and smiled. "It's sing," she grinned. "Maybe I'm not just a perfect cadet after all." Weeks turned to months, and the lab grew. Students from all over Earth came, not just engineers, but poets, musicians, biologists, all drawn by the idea that the universe could be understood through harmony. Then one evening, the sky above the academy rippled. A Kailari shuttle descended, not the Orion, but a smaller vessel. Zira stepped out. Lily ran to her. "You came. The council sends word the network grows. 3 more dead stars have awakened, and they ask for." Eulalie looked back at the lab, at Jake, teaching a group of kids how to tune a plasma coil with a violini. "Cannot leave. You do not have to." Zira handed her a small crystal. "It is a link. The Orion will stay in orbit. You can work from here and we from there together." Lily held the crystal and felt the familiar hum. Yes. That night she stood on the roof of the lab, the crystal in her palm glowing softly. Above her, the Orion hung in the sky like a second moon. Below her, students laughed as they coaxed light from scrap metal. In her heart, the song played on, not loud, not proud, just true. And in that moment, Lily Carter knew she was no longer the sister of a joke. She was the keeper of a promise. The promise that even the smallest voice can wake a star. The end. The Orion hummed with a quiet power that felt alive. Its walls lined with soft glowing veins of biocircuitry that pulsed in time with the ship's rhythm. Lily stood on the observation deck, her hands pressed against the cool, transparent alloy, watching stars blur into streaks as the vessel tore through warp space. She still could not believe she was here. Just 2 days ago, she had been eating cold soup in a lonely corner. Now she wore a Kailari uniform, its fabric shifting color with her mood, and carried a data slate filled with equations her brother had scribbled on napkins back on Mars. Commander Vera found her there, as she often did in the quiet hours. "You have not slept," she said, not a question. Lily shook her head. "I keep checking. If this is real, it is real," Vera said, stepping beside her, her silver braids catching the starlight. The other Earth cadets had arrived that morning, escorted by stiff-faced officers. They were the Academy's golden children, perfect scores, flawless discipline. They stared at Lily like she was a glitch in the system. One of them, a tall boy named Daniel, had smirked and said loud enough for others to hear, "Looks like the Kailari lowered their standards." Lily had said nothing, but Vera had turned, slowly, her violet eyes narrowing just enough to make Daniel step back. "Standards are not lowered," she had said. "They are redefined." Now alone with Vera, Lily finally asked the question burning in her chest. "Why did you really pick me?" Vera was silent. For a long moment, then she touched a panel on the wall, and the view shifted from warp stream to a live feed of Mars. A dusty red planet spinning slowly in the void. "Your brother's workshop is still there," she said. "Untouched. The authorities sealed." it after he left, but our scouts found something inside a prototype core powered by quantum resonance. It should not work by any known law yet. It hums with stable energy. Lily's breath caught, then never told me. He was protecting you if Earth Command knew what he built. They would have taken it apart or worse, used it as a weapon. So you want me to finish it. I want you to understand it. The Kalari have studied it for months, but we lack the human instinct. The messy, unpredictable spark that made it possible in the first place. Your brother thought like an artist, not an engineer. Lily looked down at her hands. I'm not an artist. You are if you choose to. The next morning, Lily was assigned to the Deep Science Bay, a vast chamber filled with floating consoles and holographic star maps. Kalari scientists moved with silent precision, their long fingers dancing over light interfaces. They barely glanced at her as she entered. Only one approached, a young female Kalari named Zira. Her eyes, a pale blue, her voice softer than the others. You are the Earth girl who carries the dreamer's blood. Lily nodded. Zira studied her, then gestured to a central platform where a sphere of swirling energy hovered inside a containment field. This is your brother's core. It sings, but we cannot hear its song. Lily stepped closer. The energy pulsed like a heartbeat, warm and familiar. Zira nodded. Lily reached out, not with tools, but with her bare hand. She placed her palm against the outer field and closed her eyes for a moment. Nothing happened. Then the core brightened. A low hum filled the room. The Kalari scientists froze. Zira's eyes widened. It recognizes you. Lily opened her eyes, tears welling. It's just like when he used to test it in the garage. He'd hum along with it. Said it helped the resonance stabilize. She began to hum softly, a tune Jake used to whistle while welding pipes together. The core responded, its light deepening to gold, its hum rising to match her tone around her. The Kalari exchanged glances, not of doubt but of awe. That night, Vera summoned her to the command spire, the highest point of the ship where the stars seemed close enough to touch. You have done what our best minds could not, she said. I just hummed you. Listen, that is the difference. Lily looked out at the endless dark. What happens now? Now you train not just as a scientist but as a bridge between our peoples. The core is more than a power source. It is a key to a new kind of travel, one that bends space with harmony, not force, but I don't know how to teach that. You already are. Over the next weeks, Lily worked with Zira and the science team. They learned to mimic her resonance patterns using sound waves and emotional feedback loops. The core grew stronger, brighter. Soon it powered half the ship without drawing from the main reactor. The other Earth cadets watched from afar, their jealousy turning to grudging respect, except for Daniel, who began spreading rumors that Lily was using alien mind tricks that she had no real skill on. Evening, he cornered her in the corridor. You got lucky, he sneered, but luck runs out before Lily could respond. Vera appeared behind him. Luck is the residue of preparation, she said calmly. And Cadet Daniel, your next assignment is waste recycling for 1 lunar cycle. Perhaps there you will learn humility. Daniel paled but said nothing as 2 Kalari guards escorted him away. Lily exhaled. Thank you. Do not thank me. Earn your place every day. She did. She spent hours in the science bay refining the core's frequency. She taught the Kalari how human intuition could guide logic. She even began designing a new interface that combined touch, emotion, and sound. One night as she worked alone, the core flared. Suddenly, a message appeared in the air, not in words but in feelings. Images of a distant system, a dying star, a planet wrapped in ice and silence. Zira rushed in, eyes wide. It is sending a signal to Hoodoo. Someone who needs help. Vera arrived moments later, her expression unreadable. This changes everything, she said. The signal originates from the Veiled Rim, a region forbidden to all ships by Galactic Treaty. Why? Because something ancient sleeps there, and your brother's core just woke it up. Lily's blood ran cold. Is it dangerous? Only if we answer with fear, so we Gawago preparations began at once. The Orion shifted course, its biohull darkening to absorb light. The crew moved with quiet urgency. As they neared the Veiled Rim, space itself seemed to thicken. Stars dimmed and sensors flickered. Then they saw it, a planet of black ice orbiting a dead star, but at its center pulsed a light, identical to Jake's core. It is a twin. Zira whispered. No, Lily said softly. It is the original. The core in there. Ship vibrated eagerly as if calling home. Vera turned to Lily. You must go down. You are the only one it will trust. A small shuttle carried her through the planet's thin atmosphere. The surface glittered like shattered glass beneath her feet as she walked toward the light, guided by the hum in her bones. At the center of the ice field stood a structure not built, but grown, its walls woven from light and memory. She stepped inside, and there in the heart of it floated a being made of starlight and sorrow. It spoke not with sound but with feeling. We waited for the one who daresly understood. My brother tried to copy you. He felt the echo of our song and answered. Why? Because the universe is lonely. Tears fell from Lily's eyes, freezing before they hit the ground. What do you need? A voice to sing with us again. Lily took a breath and began to hum the same tune Jake used in his garage. The being brightened. The ice around them melted into rivers of light. The dead star above flickered, then glowed. Anew back on the Orion, Vera watched the sensors as the planet came alive. She did it, Zira nodded. She did not fix it. She joined it. When Lily returned, she was changed. Her eyes held galaxies, her skin faintly shimmered like Vera's. The other Earth cadets stared in silence. Even Daniel, now returned from waste duty, looked at her with something like reverence. Vera met her at the shuttle bay. You are no longer just Lily Carter. I know. You are the first human resonance weaver. Lily looked past her to the reborn star now burning warm and gold in the distance. Tell Earth what happened. They will not understand. Then we will teach them. And as the Orion turned toward home, Lily knew her brother's joke had become the seed of something greater, a new language, between species, not of words but of song, of hope, of daring to reach when others look away. The end. The resonance lab hummed with life. Not the sharp buzz of machines, but the soft chorus of human voices tuning circuits, with song students gathered in circles around workbenches, their hands moving with care. Not force, they sang to power cells. They whispered to data streams, they listened. Lily moved among them, not as a commander but as a guide, her Kalari crystal pendant warm against her chest. It pulsed gently in time with the Orion still orbiting high above Earth. A silent partner in their shared work. Jake sat near the back, his hands stained with grease as he helped a young girl adjust the frequency of a prototype thruster. It's not about pushing, he said softly. It's about asking. The girl nodded and hummed a low note. The thruster glowed blue. Lily smiled, but her smile faded as she noticed Daniel standing alone near the door. His arms crossed his eyes, distant. She walked over. Everything. Okay. He hesitated. I got a message from Mars colony. My sister's sick. They say only a resonance healer can stabilize her neural pathways. Lily's breath caught. There are none on Mars. Not yet. You want to go? Have to. She looked at him, seeing not the arrogant cadet, but a brother afraid of losing someone he loved. You're not ready. I know. Then I'll go with you. His eyes widened. You'd leave the lab? The lab is alive. It doesn't need me to breathe for it. That night, she spoke with Zira through the crystal. Link Mars is unstable. The Council warns. So was the Veiled Rim. Zira was silent. Then, the Orion. We'll take you 2 days later. Lily and Daniel boarded the shuttle. Jake hugged her tight. Bring her back. Willis Mears grew in the viewport, red and dusty. Lily felt a strange pull, not fear but recognition. This was where it all began, in a garage on this very planet where Jake first heard the song and the static. The shuttle landed at the outer colony of Helios, a dome city built into the canyon walls. The air inside was thin and recycled. The people moved slowly, their faces drawn. Daniel's sister, Maeve, lay in a medical pod. Her body still, her mind trapped in a feedback loop caused by a failed neural implant. The doctors had tried everything. Shocks, drugs, silence, nothing worked. Lily placed her hand on the pod. The lead physician nodded grimly. You have 1 hour. She sat beside Maeve, closed her eyes, and began to hum the same tune Jake used in his garage. At first nothing. Then the pod's monitors flickered. A soft light bloomed under Maeve's skin. Daniel gasped. Keep going. Lily did not stop. She wove the hum into a full song, words forming from memory of lullabies her mother used to sing. Slowly Maeve's fingers twitched, her eyes opened. Daniel cried, but Lily felt something else. a deeper resonance beneath the colony, a pulse like a heartbeat. Buried in the rock, she turned to the physician. What's under us? The old terraforming core. It failed decades ago. It's been dormant. It's not dormant. She followed the pull through service tunnels lit by flickering bulbs. The air grew warmer, the walls vibrated. Faintly at the center of the colony, deep underground, she found it, a massive sphere half buried in rust. Its surface cracked, but inside a faint glow pulsed like a sleeping heart. It was a resonance core older than Jake's, older than the Kailari Evanzira's. Voice came through the crystal lily. Do you see it? Yes, it is not human, not Kailari, it is elder. What do I do? Listen. Lily placed both hands on the cold metal and closed her eyes. Images flooded her mind, a time when Mars was green, when rivers ran red, not with dust but with life, when beings of light walked the canyons and sang the planet into being. The core was not broken. It was waiting for someone to remember. She began to sing. Not a human song. Not a Kailari chant. But something older. Something shared. Core answered. Light spread through the tunnels up into the colony. The six sat up. The tired stood tall. The air itself grew richer, above ground. The sky shimmered. Back on Earth, news broke fast. Mars colony reported impossible atmospheric changes. Oxygen, levels rising, water condensing in the domes. General Ellis contacted Lily through a shaky feed. What did you do? I remembered. The Orion descended not to land but to hover above the canyon, its biohull glowing in sync with the awakened core of Era's. Voice came through clear and calm. You have done more than heal a world, Lily Carter. You have reminded it is alive. Daniel stood beside Lily, his sister leaning on his arm. Both watching the sky. I thought I came to save her, he said softly. You came to be part of something bigger. In the weeks that followed, Mars changed, not fast, not violently, but steadily, like a flower opening after a long winter. The Resonance Lab on Earth sent team students, poets, engineers, all eager to learn from the Elder. Corella stayed. She taught the colonists to listen to the wind, to the rock, to the silence between heartbeats. One evening, as she sat on the canyon rim, watching the twin moons rise, Jake's voice came through the comm. They're calling it the Carter. Bloom, she smiled. Tell them it's not mine. It's everyone's back on Earth. The old ways crumbled fast. Schools began teaching resonance alongside math. Hospitals used song to heal trauma. Even politicians spoke of listening before acting, but not everyone welcomed the change. A faction called the Purity Alliance rose, claiming that mixing human minds with alien energy was unnatural, that Lily was leading Earth into spiritual corruption. They sabotaged a resonance node in New Atlantis, causing a blackout. Lily was summoned again, this time not for honors but for warning. General Ellis looked tired. They want you to denounce the network. Never. They say you're a threat. Then I am. She returned to Mars, not in defeat but in strength. The Elder Core pulsed stronger, now its song spreading through the solar system. On the moon, a dormant Chinese terraformer awoke. On Titan, a Europa station began broadcasting harmonics. The universe was remembering itself. One night, as Lily walked through the blooming canyon, she felt a new presence. A child no older than 6 stood before the core, her small hands pressed to its surface, humming a tune no one had taught her. Lily knelt. What's your name? Eldorado. You hear it. Yes, it says hello. Lily's eyes filled. You will teach others. Alara nodded seriously. I already started. As the stars watched silent and ancient, Lily Carter understood her role was not to lead, but to pass the song along. She was not the first to hear it, and she would not be the last. The end. The canyon winds of Mars carried a new song, now soft and steady like a lullaby for a waking world. Lily walked its red paths each morning, her boots brushing over sprouts of blue moss that glowed faintly in the dawn. She no longer wore uniforms, only simple clothes stitched by colony hands. Her Kailari crystal hung quiet against her chest, its light dimmed not from distance but from balance. The network was no longer fragile. It was breathing on its own. Alara, the little girl who first sang to the Elder Core, had become a quiet teacher herself, leading groups of children through the tunnels, showing them how to place their palms on warm stone and listen for the planet's heartbeat. Daniel stayed on Mars too. His sister Maeve, now fully healed, worked with engineers to weave resonance into colony power grids. Their old rivalry with Lily had melted into something deeper. Respect, trust, kinship, but peace never lasts long. One evening, the sky tore open, not with light but with silence. A ship descended unlike any seen before, its hull black and smooth, absorbing starlight not reflecting it. No markings, no signals. It simply appeared above the canyon and hovered. Alarm bells rang through Helios Colony. Lily stood on the ridge. Her eyes narrowed. Zira's voice came through the crystal strained. It is not Kailari, not human. It carries no resonance signature. Then what is it? A void. The ship released a single pod. It landed softly in the center of the canyon. Not with force but with purpose. From it stepped a figure tall and draped in dark fabric. Its face hidden beneath a smooth mask that showed no features. Only a blank surface that seemed to drink the light. It walked toward the Elder Core. The colonists gathered behind Lily. Fear thick in the air. The figure stopped before the core, raised one hand and placed it on the surface. Nothing happened. Then the core dimmed just a little, but enough. Lily felt it like a gasp in her chest. The song stuttered. Alara cried out and fell to her knees, clutching her ears. Lily moved fast. She stepped between the figure and the core. Who are you? The figure tilted its head. We are the Hush. The voice was not sound but thought, cold and flat. You are silencing it. We are correcting it. Chaos cannot be allowed. Harmony is weakness. Lily's blood ran cold. You're afraid of song. We are order. The figure raised its hand again. Lily did not think she acted. She began to sing, not loud, not complex, just the old tune Jake hummed in his garage. The one that started it all. The Hush. Figure flinched. Its mask cracked slightly around her. The colonists joined in, not all at once, but one by one. Daniel first, then Maeve, then Alara. Her small voice clear and bright. The song grew. The core brightened. The Hush staggered back. You cannot drown. Silence with noise. We are not making noise. Lily said, we are remembering. The figure turned and fled back to its pod. The black ship vanished as suddenly as it came, but the damage was done. The Elder Core pulsed weakly. Its light dull for 3 days. The canyon grew quiet. No hum, no glow, no pneumos. Alara would not speak. Lily sat beside the core, her hand resting on its cool surface. What do we do? Zira's voice came soft through the crystal. The Hush are ancient, older than the Kailari. They believe the universe must be still silent. Perfect. They see life as error. Then they're wrong. They fear what they cannot control. Lily closed her eyes. Then we show them that silence is not peace. On the 4th day, she called everyone to the canyon, not just colonists, but every off-world visitor, every student, every poet, every engineer. She did not speak. She simply placed her hand on the core and began to hum. Others joined, not in perfect tune, not in perfect time, but in perfect trust. The core responded. A single thread of light rose from its surface, then another, then 100. The Hush ship returned. This time it did not land, hovered high above and released a wave not of weapons, but of anti-resonance. A field designed to erase vibration, to flatten song into stillness. The canyon trembled. People fell to their knees, but Lily stood. She raised her voice higher, and the Orion appeared, not firing, not threatening, but singing. Its biohull glowed with Kailari harmonics, weaving with human voices, with Martian echoes, with the Elder Core's ancient pulse. The anti-resonance wave shattered like glass. The Hush ship shuddered. Its smooth hull rippled. For the first time it made a sound, a low groan of pain, and it fled. This time it did not return. In the days that followed, the core bloomed, brighter than ever, its song spreading not just through Mars but leaping to the moons, to the asteroid belt, to distant colonies on Ceres and Enceladus. Earth changed again. The Purity Alliance disbanded, their leaders weeping as they touched their first resonance node and felt the universe breathe. General Ellis sent a message, you saved us, without firing. A shot. Lily replied simply, we remembered together. Jake arrived a month later with a new project. Not a machine, but a school. A place where children from every world could learn to listen before they speak, to feel before they build. He found Lily on the canyon rim, watching Alara teach a group of kids how to coax light from dry rock. You look tired, he said. I am but happy. Always that night under twin moons, Lily sat alone, her hand on the warm stone. The crystal at her chest glowed softly. Vera's voice came one last time. The council names you guardian of the first chord. I don't want a title. Then take none. Silence stretched. You could come home, Mars. Is home now, as is everywhere, the song is heard. Lily smiled. Tell them the joke is over. There was no joke, only a truth waiting to be sung. Years passed. The resonance network grew not as a system but as a living thing branching through space, carried by voices, not wires. Ships no longer needed fuel. They rode the song. Cities no longer needed walls. They thrived on shared breath. And in a small canyon on a once dead world, a woman with silver streaks in her hair sat with children around her. She did not teach them to build. She taught them to listen, and when they asked who started it all, she pointed to the stars and said his name. Jake. The end.